Good email code, quick tips, showing code. So often there are occasions where we want to show our rendered code, but we don't have access to DevTools. This could be because DevTools aren't supported in a particular email client we're looking at, or maybe we only have access to static screenshots of this email client and not a live email client to test in. So there are a couple of tricks we can do to show the rendered code. So first up, let's take a look at this style block here. We want to make this show so we can see it. So we're going to add to the head element, we're going to set style display block to make the head appear inside our code. However, everything inside the head is already hidden. So now we go down to our style element, and again we set style and display block to make the style block display in the email. There we can see it here. But it doesn't look very good, so additionally we're now going to add a white space pre-wrap, so it just lays it out a bit better, so it makes it a bit more readable for us. So let's send a quick test to an email client. This one is Ionis email client, and we can see our styles are displayed at the top there. The spacing has changed. This is because as the email is rendered, Ionis has taken the spacing out. The pre-wrap is still there and is still working, it's just the spacing isn't, so it doesn't read as well. Also, we can see that all our classes have been prefixed with mail detail content. So this is something I find very useful when trying to target a specific email client. If we can see the prefixing here, then we can use that to our advantage. So I've done this here with inline styling, but if you wanted to, you could also use embedded styling. So in your style, just add head display block, and then on the style element, again, set style display block and white space pre-wrap. Using inline style means you can be selective about what you show. Embedded styles has the potential to show style blocks added by the email client or maybe ESP, but I've not found an example of that yet. Another thing to try is putting the style block in the body of your email. Now this isn't great for building your code, but in terms of just seeing the rendered version, this might give you a little bit more insight. So we've seen what we can do with style blocks, but what about inline styles? Well, CSS has this really cool attr function that we can use inside a content property of a pseudo element, like a before or after. So let's take a quick look at an example here. Here, let's have a look at that h1 element. We're going to add an after pseudo element to that. We're going to put content, and then inside our content property, a value of attribute style, and we'll see that pop up there. And let's add a little space in front so it's a bit more readable. There we go. So this is not just for inline styles, we can look at all attributes with this. And I've set up this test email which I send out quite often. So here if we look, we have our HTML element which I've set a before pseudo element on, and then we've got content for HTML just to label it. We've got a class, whatever the class might be, ID, whatever the ID might be, and style, whatever the style might be. And then we can see that reflected in the preview up here. Currently there's nothing on it, but if I were to add a class on there, then we could see that reflected in the preview too. I've also set this one up to show all our meta tags too. So our head is set to display block, and our meta tags are also set to display block. For each meta tag, we're looking at the name attribute and the content attribute, as email clients often like to add or remove meta tags from our code. Now let's have a quick look at an email client. This is Apple Mail, and we can see that a class of singleton has been added onto the body element. So we can have a look at using that class for targeting Apple Mail specifically. As you might expect, this doesn't work everywhere. However, looking at Can I Email, we can see that support is more common in places where we don't have access to DevTools already, so it is very useful still. Thank you very much.